Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Friday with Dannphan. We're back. Back on track, everybody. Welcome. I hope everyone's been having a fantastic Friday. Oh yeah, you're mentioning the XP icons. Yeah, that's something that YouTube's trying out. That's just something different. I don't know if that actually encourages people to chat more, but it is a little interesting. I could see people really enjoying that. I mean, it's kind of a Skinner box in a way. Press the button, get the treats type of deal. But if it encourages you to chat more, maybe it could be fun. I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't encourage people to spam more. Is it like will it be character based? Is there a law against copy paste? I don't know. I don't really know how they have it working out. It is a very new feature, and I didn't look into really how it works. So even I don't really quite know what limiters are on the XP thing in live chat. But I guess we'll figure it out. It's an exciting stream because it's another Reaper closeout stream. This time we're closing out for Fund My Comic. We did reach our goal on this website as well. So we got goal reached Kickstarter, goal reached Fund My Comic. We almost got to the 5K stretch goal. I think we were at 4,800 or, about 4,800. So not too shabby, folks. Now, I always just kind of assume that if you tune in for the live streams, you also read the comics. But if you haven't already, and this does look like something you'd be interested in, there is the link in the description, but you don't really have much time to stew on it because this is closing in another 6 hours, hence the fact that this is a closeout stream. This is the last bit. Our one last push for promoting Reaper Book 2. And then it's all gone forever. And then I just promote the main site instead. So, there's that. Well, thank you for your congratulations, everybody. It is good to not have to worry about that anymore. Now all I really have to worry about is just finishing the book. And there's a lot to go, of course. But I am almost done the second chapter of the second book, which is actually chapter 8. I know it can get a little bit confusing. I imagine because I'm just doing it kind of manga style where it's just listing all the chapters chronologically instead of having them separated per book. But yes, so hopefully I'll have that uploaded to the Subscribe Star by the end of the month. People who are on the early reader tier, you're gonna be able to read the next chapter soon. That's exciting. Yay! Another fun thing happening at the end of this month, we have another convention coming up. It's a good one, Garden State Comic Fest. I was at Garden State Anime Fest. It's a different, but they're run by the same people. Garden State Comic Fest is a good one. I enjoyed it last time I was there. There's a lot of big names that show up at the Garden State Comic Fest also. So if you're in the area or if you're interested in journeying on over, then please do stop by at my table and come say hi. That's at the end of the month. What is it? 28th? It's the weekend, but So that will be fun. There's this one panel that they're going to have at the Garden State Comic Fest that I was interested in, talking about crowdfunding, specifically crowdfunding your indie comics. And I'm curious what everybody has to say for the panel. Let's see, who is... I think Billy Tucci is one of the people speaking on that panel. And what, was Couch Doodles also on there? I'll have to like look it up to see, because I don't have the bestest of memory. Things to do, panel schedule. Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's take a look on stream. What do we got here? Yeah, kickstarting your comics career. Look at that. Billy Tucci, Graham Nolan, Andy Smith, Dan Frega, and Ron Garney. Yeah, I know all of these guys except for Ron, but it'll be interesting to hear what someone new has to say as well. So that's something that I'd like to join in on. That's on the first day? Yeah, that's on the Saturday. Yeah, 1 to 1:45. Gotta leave my table for that one. But no, this looks fun. I think this will be a really good convention. The last one was pretty fun. It was good stuff. But yeah. Sorry, I wasn't late though. I wasn't late to the stream, but I was kind of rushing a little bit. I was trying to squeeze in some work before having to hop on here. And you know, sometimes you're threading that needle a little bit too close. I'm doing a bunch of different things, really. But one of the things I was trying to get done before hopping on here was I wanted to make a few more traditional art pieces. Because I kind of like rendering traditionally. I think I actually prefer it to digital. I prefer like doing the anatomy digitally because it requires a lot of like editing and figuring out, right? But I prefer to like actually, I enjoy rendering more when it's traditional. I just feel like I have more control over it. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if there's something psychological that makes it so that it's difficult for me to do it digitally, but for whatever reason, I like doing it traditional. So I wanted to try to do some original art pieces and maybe have some for the convention, put them in the binder. It's my thoughts anyway. So I was sketching out an idea, just one idea, basically, because I didn't have a lot of time. But it should be fun. And of course, all of this is on top of working on Reaper pages. Didn't work on any Reaper pages yet, but I will. It's gotta be done. But yeah. What has been going on this week? I mean, besides the news, I don't think anything much has been going on. What we got happening in the media section of things? Anything new announced? Oh, they announced Code Vein 2. I'm kind of excited for that. I enjoyed the first Code Vein, and I know that it had problems. I agree with a lot of people's criticisms of said problems, but I still enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see a sequel, to see like how they'll polish it up, and hopefully it'll be a much better game, but like take the things that were good in the first game and like amplify them, you know? Fix the mistakes. I'm excited. Code Vein 2 is probably like the first video game I've been excited for in a while now. Because I kind of lost the hype for Night Rain. I'm not feeling it. I just don't think it's my thing. Fortnite, Elden Ring, not really. The characters are kind of cool, but Yeah, Code Vein 2 announced. Sick. I'm excited. We're gonna play vampire hunters, although they're not calling them vampires. Revenant hunters, right? But they're really kind of vampires because they drink blood. But Revenant hunters, let's go. There's gonna be time travel. That sounds cool. I like time traveling games. I think we should try more of that. Not to the point where it becomes like an overused trend, but like the few games that have tried time travel have been really neat, and I think Code Vein will do something really neat with that. Thanks for the $1, Johnny. Yeah. New Marvel fighting games announced, made by Arc System. Silksong will be released this year, hopefully. I feel like I can't trust that anymore. I was excited for Silksong years ago, but like I feel like I can't trust that they're ever going to release that game anymore. So I can't get my hopes up just to be let down. Apparently a spin-off to Steven Universe happening. I did hear about that. I heard about that a while ago because there was rumors that was going to be happening for a while, and everyone just thought that they were just rumors because nothing was officially announced. But now it's officially announced, and it's like, yeah, okay, so you're actually going through with that, I guess. Not really into it, but I guess Steven Universe fans are having a field day. They get to have a spin-off series dedicated to Lars, everyone's favorite character. Yeah. Are you thinking of trying Expedition 33? I wasn't thinking of it, but Expedition 33, what is this? Sorry, the image. I'm reacting to the images, not the. I don't know what the game is. Is this some sort of like post-apocalyptic thing, I guess? Man, what's wrong with their faces? Okay, this is part of a franchise, right? So I wouldn't really understand what was going on. Let's see what chat says. Yeah, Code Vein 2 was nice to see. It was a surprise, but it was a welcome surprise. You're probably not going to be a fan of E33 turn-based JRPG. Yeah, probably not going to be a fan of that then. From a new studio. Yeah, I guess it's It confused me because it says Claire Obscure : Expedition 33. So that makes it sound like it is a sequel of something. But I guess it's not. I guess they just decided to have a confusing title. That's fine. Yeah, I'm more into the action RPGs. I don't like turn-based stuff. Honestly, like the only thing where a turn-based video game ever made sense to me was like the Baldur's Gate type stuff. But I don't really like Baldur's Gate either for other reasons. not because of the style of combat. I think it like fits there because it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, but yeah, it's difficult for me to get into turn-based stuff because I get so impatient, and when you're impatient in combat where you're supposed to be like slow and think about your moves, you're just gonna lose a lot, which makes you even more impatient, and then it's just this vicious cycle. So yeah, I don't really click with those type of games. If I'm starting to get frustrated, I want the ability to just smash a button. Dark Souls does that for me. So maybe that's more my speed. Going to a convention this weekend in my Clark Kent costume. Oh, that should be fun. You can see if anyone recognizes you. If you ever played Silent Hill, they announced a remake. So I've seen Silent Hill around. I've never actually played it myself. But I thought they already did a remake of it. Maybe I'm just crazy. Or maybe the graphics are so good. I don't know. Nice announcements include Resident Evil 9. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with Resident Evil now. I didn't hear people talking about Resident Evil 9, but I guess it's just the announcement and not a whole lot of information on it. There's the Marvel fighting game, Silent Hill 1 remake, Scott Pilgrim X, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Yeah. I don't know. I'll see what they're doing with Resident Evil anyways, but I don't know. I have a complicated history with Resident Evil because the games that people say that they dislike are the ones that I like. Basically, I like 5 and 6. I do. Not everybody hates 5 and 6, but I don't know. I think Adam's favorite is probably 5. 6, he likes, but it's, less so. Obviously, the original, the first one, is just a banger. It's just good, but yeah, I like 5 and 6. What can I say? She always looks so buff when she's in a tank top. I think it's just like maybe dehydration and makes your skin like tighten up around your muscles. So it looks like I'm a lot more ripped than I actually am, when in actuality I'm just dying of thirst. That's like a trick that a lot of the actors who play superheroes use to make themselves look more cut when they're doing a shirtless scene or something. They don't have water for like a long time, and then they'll just be dehydrated, but it'll look like they're a lot more grafted, like their pecs will show more and their abdomen and everything. Resident Evil 5 is best played co-op. Yes! But I have a boyfriend, so I can play with him, and that's the best part about it. I love the co-op. Absolutely love it. I mean, really, that's what made the game. But a lot of people say that they don't like it because, well, one, there's co-op, because, I don't know, I guess they don't have friends. And two, because it's too action-based, they say. Like, it's not scary enough. It's fine. I mean, there are some scary sections, and then there are some really action-based sections, and then there's some, like, anime sections, I would call them, where it's, like, over the top. But I like that it's over the top, that gets me pumped up. So it's like this whole other vibe, and if you're not into it, you're not into it, but I like it. And for the latest Resident Evil games, it kind of feels like they're just trying to be a little more of a like generic horror, where it's like first person and I can't see that much of the screen, and I sure hope nothing comes out to spook me. But I don't know. Village, I guess, had its over the top anime moments also, but it's just not the same vibe. Maybe I just don't like the first person. Maybe that's my main critique, is that I'm not a first person type of person. Hey, thanks for the 10. Dravforge. Nice. What about Kingdom Come Deliverance? That's, well, like, what do they call those? It's like war strategy games or something? No, it's something different from a war strategy game. But it's not really my thing. I haven't played any of the other Kingdom Come games either. So I find action RPGs are a big hit and miss for me. When done poorly, you get the worst of both worlds. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, no, there are some good ones and there are some bad ones, for sure. I think my first introduction to it was, well, I played a little bit of Dark Souls 3, but just like such a small bit that it kind of doesn't even count, you know? My first real introduction to it was probably the first Code Vein, honestly. And Code Vein being the first Souls-like I've ever played made it seem like so much of a better game than it actually was. Now, don't get me wrong, I saying even now, but I'm able to recognize its problems a lot more because I've played all these other Souls-like in my day, I should say. But yeah, I remember, God, there was this one night where I stayed up forever just playing Code Vein. I must have been awake for like 18 hours or something. Just maybe 18 hours is a bit of a stretch. But I was basically up the whole night, and I didn't even realize it until, like, I looked away from the screen. Adam is just standing there confused, like, you're still awake? He's just, like, horrified looking at me. Oh, man, it was fun, though. I was having fun. I like it when games are fun. It's great. But yeah, obviously, after I played Code Vein, it opened me up to trying out all these other Souls-like games. And I played all of the Dark Souls games. I played Elden Ring, obviously. I played Hollow Knight, although that's a little bit different, but some people classify it as a Souls-like. But yeah, it's been good fun. I played a little bit of some more odd Souls-like too. God, there was this one that I couldn't for the life of me finish. I didn't even get that far, and I was like, God, this game sucks. There's something about it that's just wrong. You know, it's just nothing came across very naturally. Mortal Shell? I think that was it. First of all, aesthetic-wise, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, you're some kind of creature that possesses a dead guy? And it's like, what? Am I a villain? Am I just playing a villain right now? Why am I weird looking? I don't like this, but I don't know. I think it's one of those games where they want you to grind a lot in the beginning. But I don't really like grinding that much. It's probably like my least favorite part about these types of games is grinding. And I don't know. I don't want to open up a game and immediately have to start grinding around. So I just didn't finish it. There's a lot of confusing things about like how to play too that just weren't really thought out very well. But apparently that's also getting a sequel. That was one of the sequels that was announced recently, is Mortal Shell 2. And I know one of the artists who worked on like character design and concept art for it. It's just a shame because I don't like the game, but I would like to support her because her work is very good. Just throwing that out there, you know? But yeah. You ever played Nioh? I have Nioh. I didn't finish it, but I have it. Actually, I don't know if I really opened it up and started playing it, or if I just downloaded it and I was like, eventually I'll play this. There's a lot of games that I buy with the intention of one day streaming them on the Game Fans channel. So for that reason, I hold off on playing them. But in general, you know, I'm usually drawing a lot more than I am playing games. So unless you have one of those Code Vein moments where you're like up 16 hours or something just getting through a level, it takes me a good while to actually complete a game. Any progress on the Reaper video game project? Well, I wasn't really doing a Reaper video game, but if I ever do, I'll let you know. The comic is going good though. I should, in theory, be done the next chapter by the end of the month. And then I can put that on the subscribe star. Some kind of creature business. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They don't explain anything. Are we the baddies? That is the question, right? I know some good game devs. Well, I think a lot of people who are doing stuff on like on gaming, a lot of them are working on their own independent projects. So it's hard to reach out to somebody to work on your project when you don't know anything about coding, you know, right? You can only really offer like ideas, art, writing, but yeah, it doesn't go any further than that. So a lot of people are like, it's not worth my time. I'm working on my own stuff. And I get it. I totally get it. Ugh. I remember Adam was trying to reach out to people at one point, like, hey, if you know anyone who's interested in doing a video game, totally would be, because Adam also wants to get into doing video games in the future. But, you know, he tried to reach out to people and like, hey, if you know anybody, send them my way. I'd like to collaborate to get something done. And usually the reaction a lot of people have is, you should just learn how to code. You should just learn how to do it yourself. You know. And to be fair, maybe he could. Maybe he could learn how to do it himself. But that's a lot. That's a lot right now for us. We're a little bit piled on when it comes to stuff we have to do. But maybe in the future. My options are open. My mind is open. I will consider different things we can do as we learn how to do more things. Yeah, Mortal Shell, it looked okay, but it was nothing super special. Well, I couldn't even play it. It was just like, I don't know, it was just frustrating. It's just frustrating to do. Speaking of coding, was it hard to create your own comic website, or you had help with that? So I had someone else put together the website for me. I learned sort of over time how to like edit it. You know, we used it's called Divi or something. I don't know. You can tell I really don't know what I'm doing, but I can edit it to some degree, but I can't do anything fancy because I don't really know about coding, of course. So I'm usually just downloading plugins to do what I really need to do, but there's a limit to how much I can do on my own. And I guess that's kind of the idea behind, you know, if you want something very specific and custom done for a website, then you hire somebody else to do it because they're more informed on what they're doing. Whereas all I can really do is download a bunch of plugins to try to do it for me. Yeah, what are the odds of finding a game dev willing to make someone else's project? I think they're pretty low. You have to have somebody who is looking to work on something, but basically has no ideas for something. Those are the gold mines, right? Because I've met artists before, a surprising amount of artists before, who are very talented and very much want to work on a comic, for example, but they're not really confident in their writing, or they don't really have that many ideas, and they're looking for writers. And there's a lot of writers who simultaneously want to work with an artist. They're looking for artists, and somehow they're always missing each other. It's very funny to see. Somehow, I don't know, it's just running past each other all the time. I've tried to like link people together before though, but it really just depends who I know at what time to get the stars to align so that I can link people up. But I have heard a lot of people say that forums, there's a lot of good forums out there for posting about if I'm looking for an artist, I'm looking for a writer, etc., etc. I'm looking for a game dev. Does anyone know how to code? I'll pay you, please. Yeah. We've been interested in gaming projects in the It's-based camp. We're busy at the moment, but we'd be down to at least chat about it. I mean, sure. If you're down, I'm down. Because obviously, like, I can participate in ideas and art and concepts, but I will not be able to do the coding. I'm just completely piled on, of course. But Adam has a bunch of really great ideas for games. Oh my god, he's a genius. And some of the things he comes up with, I'm like, oh man, I would totally play that, but it doesn't exist. One of the things we thought would be great and relatively easy, at least for me, being the main artist, would be something akin to Darkest Dungeon. Do like it's a turn-based RPG, right? I know I was just talking smack on turn-based RPGs, but that's only because I'm not a patient person. Other people would really like it. We wanted to do a high fantasy version of a Darkest Dungeon thing, and he had all these different unique ideas for characters, and it sounded really fun. And I was like, oh man, I would totally draw the characters for that thing. But we don't know how to create it, we don't know how to code, so it's one of those things. It was a dating sim she was thinking about. I did do a dating sim once. It all got deleted, though. All of it just wiped from the earth. That was sad. That was really sad, because I worked for a long time on that dating sim. It was really good. Trust me, it was a banger. Perhaps it needed some editing, but it was good. I liked it. But yes, it did get Thanos snapped, so at work, it's not happening. No, I can't do it. Once was enough. But yeah, I got to know what kind of game to do before committing to it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be down with creating any kind of Souls-like, of course, because I like them. I like them, and I would play test the heck out of my own game forever and ever. And like I said, we have like all these neat ideas for characters, so God, yes. It would be so cool. I'd like to meet a few artists at the con later this month. It'd be nice to get some feedback. Oh, sure, yeah. God Love Comics says, I'm a writer hiring artists for considerable page rate, and man, no one wants to do interiors anymore. Well, it's a lot of work, granted. I get it. It is a lot of work. Oh, man. But I'm sure there is an artist out there who would be totally interested. I know a couple people, but it also depends what you're personally looking for, like what style you're looking for, because like even if I recommend people, it might not be what you want. It's one of those things. But yeah, if anyone wants to check out God Loves Comics, that's the username. Yeah, check out this guy. Contact him if you're an artist looking for some work he's offering. So there you go. I'm working on RTS RPG in Godot, Adam can see my code if wants to learn. It's just a wonky prototype. I think I have seen that in the Discord. I think I have. Turn-based RPGs are on the higher end of complexity to make. I don't know. Following the first rule, don't consume the product. Here's a comic you should do a review on, Family Force V. It's a Super Sentai-inspired graphic novel created by Matt Browley, the creator of Amphibia. Let me check it out. Family Force V. Not a fan of Amphibia, gotta be honest. But I'll see what it looks like. Oh, okay. Well, they're better at drawing helmets than me. Gotta hand it to them. It does kind of look like a motorcycle helmet, though. Alright. What's it about? She looks like a blue hair, doesn't she? Oh, she does have blue hair. She literally does have blue hair. Okay. Fighting alien kaiju with your family on a Friday night is a totally normal part of being a teenager, right? Well, for Maze, who, despite her protests, continues the family legacy of keeping the world safe, all while trying to get good grades, impress her crush, and balance extracurriculars. But growing up in this family means Maze must live up to the expectations of those she's destined to protect while not losing herself in the process. Okay, that sounds like it could be good. It sounds like it's the type of story that I said that I like, which is the superhero on the side, but going to high school. Like, going to high school and then keeping it a secret that you're also a superhero and trying to balance normal life with superhero life. I like those types of stories. I have mentioned that before, so it's not a bad recommendation. I don't know if I like the writer, though. That's the real kicker, you know? But maybe I'll check this out. Oh, it's a really new one. It came out this year. Okay. Thank you for the recommend. Maybe you could start with something like RPG Maker. Yeah, we have. Well, Adam has RPG Maker. You still have to learn how to use it, of course, but like I said, we just don't have the time. We have a lot of stuff piled up on us right now, and yeah, it's a lot of work. Yep, it is. It's a lot of work. Thank you for the 20, Mark. You at the Jersey Base Con this year? I think I saw that. Yeah, it's Garden State Comic Fest. I'm gonna be there. So if you want to say hi, come say hi, everybody. What is more likely, you set up and use OBS or make a simple game? I used to use OBS. I switched to StreamYard specifically because I have less problems on it. Believe it or not, I actually have less problems on StreamYard. That's why I use this. But, you know. I use OBS I use some other, like, open broadcasting software for game fan streams. I use it for the game fan streams more so because we just stream on multiple platforms. Like we stream on Rumble and YouTube, so that's the reason. One of the reasons why I'll use OBS for the game fan stream, but it's just so much easier for these kind of streams to use OBS. Like, yeah, I mean, if I wanted to customize these streams a little bit more, I could always pop on OBS, but it's not super necessary. You know, it's just one of those things. How can everyone be so busy? I have unemployed friends who are always so busy. Well, sometimes people lie about being busy. We've learned that the hard way. We had people lying about being busy during like COVID, and it's like, you're in your house. You're literally forced to stay in your house all day. What could you possibly be doing that makes you so busy that you cannot show up for a call? What was so important, you may ask? Well, they were smoking weed all day. That's really all it comes down to. They're just really busy smoking their weed. Can't possibly talk while I smoke my weed. No. It's very important. Yeah. Sometimes people just lie about being busy. That's just the reality of it, right? But no, I mean, I'm doing a lot of things all at once right now, and that's really what it comes down to. Adam's thinking about buying property, so he has to call a lot of people. Right now we have a baby at the house. It's not our baby, but it's a baby that is in the vicinity of us. That's its own problems. Obviously, I'm finishing. Well, I'm gonna be finishing at some point this comic, which is gonna be like 200 pages long. And some people don't realize how long 200 pages is. It's a lot. It's a lot of pages. It's going to take me a lot of time to finish. And obviously I can do it. I'm very good at managing my time and setting aside time to do the work. But it's still going to cost. It's going to cost time out of the day. And that will leave me busy, of course. And then additionally, I'm also trying to do more art for stuff like these conventions. I want to do some original art. I want to also be working on improving my art by doing some practicing. So I have to set aside time for practicing art, for doing original pieces, building a portfolio, doing the Reaper comic, doing videos for the YouTube channel. I feel like I'm reasonably busy. But I understand that some people lie about being busy. I get that. But yeah. Mysterious baby appears. Well, no, it's not. You don't have to think too hard on this. It's just because there's family over, and Adam's brother has a baby with his wife. So they're just here. And it's a newborn, it's just born like 4 weeks ago, or 1 month ago, I guess. But it makes it so that we have to stay very quiet for the majority of the day. So no playing music, no calling your friends. I miss my friends. But it does mess with what you do throughout the day. It does mess with how you organize your day, because it has to be organized around the fact that, well, what's the baby doing? Is the baby sleeping? Is the baby out for a walk? Not actually walking, but in the stroller. I have to explain this before people jump to conclusions. But it's okay. I mostly just mention it because it's like distracting to me, but it's not like the baby is not actually holding my hand, preventing me from doing work, but it is a distraction that makes me reorganize my day based on the baby. Lately, I took time off the gym just to work on drawing. I've almost finished line art for something I've been working on for a while. Neat! As an artist and writer, visual novels might be a good format to try, and yeah, that's what I did. Roll it back. Rewind. Hit the rewind button, guys. No, I did a dating sim. That was my big crushing moment, is that I finished a dating sim and then the entire thing got deleted. And now I'm like, I never want to do that again. That's my point. Oh no, the stressful memories are coming back. I spent months on it and it was all gone. It was terrible. I hated it. I never want to do a dating sim again. Don't do it. No backups. No. Not for that one. Not for that one. GitHub. No, it's more complicated than that. It was strictly saved online, and then that's how. Anyway, don't worry about it. It's gone. It's never coming back. I'm never redoing it. I'm done with it. I'm completely done with it. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to waste more time doing another one. Like I said, I'm busy. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna waste my time doing another one of those. It's not happening. But my point is, if I work on another game, I'm not gonna learn how to do the coding so that I don't have to stress about any of that, because I'm doing all these other things. That's just my point. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. I know that like the visual novels and the dating sims are the easiest. That's why I started there, but even that didn't work out. So it's just one of those things. How much money will it take for you to play another one? What do you mean, play another one? Play another what? Play a dating sim? Or do you mean like, do you mean make another dating sim? No, I'm not doing it. I've got 200 pages to draw. I'm not doing it at all. It'll never happen. Dating sim, no thanks. I'll stick with my walking simulator. Yes, good old Death Stranding. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just like it's just a really bad time. It's just a really bad memory, in addition to like a very stressful time to be talking about it. Mark, thanks for the 10. Trying to decide on how baby distracts Dannphan. Too much cuteness and distracting, or must be quiet at all times. I'm doing the coding for game eventually. Yes. I'll stick to the art. I'll stick to the art stuff for now, because I do need to work up a real portfolio. I don't really have a portfolio. It's another thing. It's like when you're trying to learn art and establish yourself as an artist, you really need a solid portfolio. You really need a solid set of artwork that you've done. And I don't really have that. I have a bunch of like sketches, and I have a bunch of like old stuff, a lot of old stuff really. And none of the old stuff really represents exactly talent. You know, like if I were to show somebody comic pages to like show examples of how I could create comic pages, I don't think I would be able to show them pages from my latest comic. I would have to show them like a page that I created right now for it to be authentically representing my current talent, if that makes complete sense. But, you know, obviously making a portfolio, putting a portfolio together takes a while as well, because you want to show different examples of different things that you can do. You have to make all these new art pieces, essentially. And it's worth doing, but it's just time consuming, just like everything else. Just like making comics is time consuming. You know how it is. I endorse the current approach. Stretching yourself too thin is the bane of artists. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, that's a good place to leave it. It's like, don't do too much at once. That's usually the advice that I give people. It's like, don't bite off more than you can chew. I've seen other people do exactly that, especially, because we're in indie comics, and you see all these indie crowdfunding campaigns, and sometimes people bite off more than they can chew, and that leads to some bad things happening, for a couple different reasons. Either they didn't plan out the campaign properly, or they misused their funds, or they just, sometimes emergencies happen, sure, they don't have control over that. But time management and fund management and planning ahead to make sure that you're asking for the correct amount of money. There's a lot of people who don't check how much the shipping is going to cost, and then they get hit with this absurd amount of cost when it comes to shipping out all the packages, and then they lose a lot of money, right? How do they misuse funds? Well, like spending the money for other things besides the comic that they're trying to ship out, or spending it on things that cost too much money, right? Because usually when you're doing a comic campaign, you have to think ahead of how much everything is going to cost. And sometimes people don't research it properly, or they change their mind last minute, and then they end up, it's the same thing with the shipping thing. A lot of people, they underprice the shipping, and then they end up paying a lot more for it when it comes to fulfilling, and then they lose a bunch of money. It's like that, but it can also be applied with other things. It can be applied with posters, it can be applied with t-shirts, etc., where they just underprice it, or they change how they want it done. They decide to make it extra expensive, and it doesn't end up working out for them, Inkwell just did some portfolio reviews with an art director, and they have extremely good advice about what a good portfolio should look like. Oh, sure. Of course, it depends, what kind of work you're looking to do as well. I'm not really sure if I even want to. I don't even know if I want to bother putting comic pages into my portfolio. Maybe I'll think about it, but I don't know. I'm a little bit insecure about my comic pages, admittedly. I don't think they're terrible. They work, but I don't think that they're mind-blowing, Usually when I see someone's portfolio for comic pages, they make you fly back in your chair wow, look at Spider-Man, it's stuff like that. I don't really have pages like that, so it makes me feel a little bit down here, I'm not super special. Thanks again, Mark. You just don't become a starving artist, and then I have nothing to do on a Friday. That's fair. Yeah, I shouldn't do too many comic projects you can't handle. I like to keep at one at a time, for sure. I could see myself doing another comic campaign while working on Reaper 2, but it wouldn't really feel quite right, I feel yeah. Now, I know people who have done other campaigns while working on a longer comic campaign. Not that I'm saying that's always a bad thing, because there's other reasons for why one comic could take longer than another. like I know this one person where he was a very fast artist, but the writer for this one comic campaign was very slow. And so one comic was getting held up just because of the writer, essentially. But he was going to write and draw this other comic, which he was already finished. And it's like, he felt like he couldn't do a campaign for that, despite it being finished and ready to go, because he didn't fulfill the first comic campaign where the writer was super slow. And I feel like, man, in cases like those, it's maybe a little bit more acceptable, but man, it's tough. It's tough really knowing what is the right decision. What are people going to think, you know? But yeah. We're gonna... the hour is up, guys. The hour is up. So I guess we have to wrap up the stream, but I'll just give one more reminder because I am required to remind you that there's only 6 hours left on the Reaper 2 Fund My Comic page, and then it's going to be closed, and it's just going to be all working from now on. Nothing but working on them comic pages, and perhaps uploading a few new art pieces on the side. Get a portfolio done. That's one of my goals for the rest of the year. Work on a portfolio and finish Reaper 2. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I think we talked about a bunch of fun things this stream. There's another video coming out sometime in the future. I don't have a specific date yet. Maybe the upcoming week if I find time to. Obviously, I have to wait till the baby's gone. I don't want to be cussing around a baby, but it's a fun video because it's a collaborative video. Collaborated with this other channel. I didn't know the channel personally, but Adam knew him, so it was a good video though. It was fun. We got to do some more comic fun things, and I think you guys will enjoy because it is a bit of a, I guess, game show-esque type of comic video. It's real or fake DCYA. And if you are a longtime subscriber, you should be able to know which ones are in fact real or fake. So that you can feel free to play along, of course, when that video does come out. I'm excited to get that video out. I think people will enjoy it. And it's always it's fun to get to know new people, of course. Much funnier when they have absolutely no idea what's happening in modern comics. So funny to see their reaction to some of these things. Because I'm already expecting something crazy to happen whenever I open a DCYA. But for somebody else, the look of shock and horror on their face. Mwah, beautiful. Anyway, so look forward to that video when it is ready. You'll know which one it is. So there won't be any confusion there. Ring the bell or do something like that to get notified. So that's it. Thank you for joining me on Friday with Dannphan. I think it was a fun stream, and I'm excited to tune in next time. And I'll see you at Garden State Comic Fest if you're gonna be there. Check it out. It's a good convention. I think you'll have fun if you do decide to show up. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.